Hello and welcome back to the Four Estates YouTube channel. I hope everyone is well and staying positive and you've been engaging with the videos posted so far. Let us know what you think of them and any suggestions or questions you might have. So I think there might be an issue at the moment with email in general, but it does seem that my emails are not always getting through. So can I ask that you subscribe to the channel so when a new video is posted you will get an email notification from YouTube, which should be more reliable than my email. Okay, so this is the second video focusing on composition and songwriting, and hopefully from this video you will learn a little bit more about how we can structure songs like stories, in the sense that we can give them a beginning, a middle and an end. So using this approach can often make it easier to write a song when you have a starting point or when you have an idea about what you want to write about. So I will describe what I mean by that and give some examples in the first part of the video. Then I'm going to try a little experiment to illustrate how songs with similar themes can fit together by using two well-known examples, which I hope will show story structure of beginning, middle and end, working in particular the middle of songs or choruses and what they often represent. Okay, so let's get started. So as mentioned in the introduction there, in this video I'm going to introduce the idea that a song can be put together or written much like a story, with a beginning, middle and end. So I've put up this graphic here of a story arc which uses the classic tale of the Wizard of Oz to illustrate the change in the characters' feelings from the beginning of the story to the end. And if you zoom in there, you might be able to see that change there, how that's illustrated in that graphic. So this happens to be a type of story called Voyage and Return. Now that isn't important really for the purpose of what we're looking at in this video. There are other story arcs, 4 or 5 of a kind of classic story arcs, but it just so happens I've picked this example and it's really looking at the beginning, middle and end is the main thing I want to look at here. So I'm using this to demonstrate how a story and therefore also a song can fit together in blocks or chunks, which are the beginning, middle and end, and what changes between these blocks. So what are the changes in the story between the blocks and how they are linked together. So the beginning is used to introduce the characters and setting of a story. So what place in the world the story is set and what time. So now, the past, the future. The middle should follow on from the beginning and introduce an event or describe the wishes of the main characters, what they want and how they might get that. And this is where the theme of the story is introduced. Essentially, what the story is about. Is it a love story? Is it a story of overcoming and triumph? Is it a sad story? And so on and so on. Now, usually just before the end of a story, there will be something like a turning point. You might have heard that expression before. This is where a decisive action or event or realization occurs, and this allows a story to reach a conclusion. The main character may have achieved what they wanted to, overcome the struggle they were enduring, or realized what they needed to be content. So this allows the story to end with a sense of completion and resolve, though it's not always the case that the story ends happily. So for this first example of songs as stories, I've chosen the aptly titled Love Story by Taylor Swift, which was the song you could say was her first hit and came out in 2008. You can click here in the corner to hear this song and the next example on YouTube. So if you're not already familiar with the song, she has based the song around the story of Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare. This has the advantage of making the song instantly more familiar with lots of people as the story of Romeo and Juliet is well known around the world. The difference being that the story of this song ends well, which isn't the case in the real story of Romeo and Juliet. So if we take a look at the opening lines of the first verse, we are being given an indication as to when the story is taking place. At the beginning of the story, that is, as in, is it taking place in the past, the now, or an imagined time in the future? In this case, it is the past. She is remembering the time and place she first saw Romeo and describing the scene for us to picture. Also, it's mentioned that the idea of being with Romeo is not popular with her dad. This adds a bit of tension into the song and gives the writer of the song options as to where the story can go. Will this problem work out well for Juliet or not? Now we arrive at the chorus, so as I'm sure we are all aware, choruses generally contain lines that are the same in each chorus throughout the song, with maybe one or two lines being different in each chorus, either side of the lines that are the same in all the choruses in the song, if you know what I mean. I hope that makes sense. The chorus is used to tell us what the message of the song is, what the character in the story wants, what they are feeling or what they think about something. Also, they tie the verses of the songs together so the song travels from beginning to end and can often add a little bit more to the story as the song goes along. In this way, it can be said that the chorus is a kind of middle of the song. So what is the message the chorus of this song wants us to understand? Juliet wants to be with Romeo and feels that they have to escape to somewhere else to be together and hopes that he feels the same and will be the one to make that happen. The second verse continues with its theme introduced in the first verse that Juliet's father doesn't want Romeo seeing her, and also the theme introduced in the chorus that they should try and escape to somewhere else. This is the middle of the song where the central theme of Juliet's frustration at being told not to see Romeo continues to grow and is described in the next chorus and the following bridge. The bridge is also used to bring the turning point to the story, which was mentioned in the previous part of this video. Juliet describing how she has lost faith in Romeo and that things may not turn out to be how she wants them. Then in the last chorus we hear Romeo's voice, and he has resolved the situation with her father, asked Juliet to marry him, and all is well. This is a classic end to a story where the main character's wishes or aspirations are achieved after a struggle. The last line is used to remind us where the story began, as Juliet remembering the tale. So for the second example, I've chosen a song by one of my favourite artists, Sean Colvin. This song was also her breakthrough hit and was released in 1996, and it's called Sonny Came Home. You can click here in the corner again to hear this song on YouTube. This song is told from switching perspectives or points of view, from describing the main character and then from the voice of the character themselves. The first example was entirely from the point of view of the main character, as in the words of the song are the character's voice, if that makes sense. So at the beginning of the song, in the first couple of lines, we are told the name of the subject of the song and where they are. The first verse of the song describes Sonny as returning home from somewhere. Now, giving a character or subject movement is another good way to give a writer options as to how a story can develop, and is something people can relate to easily. The last line of the verse adds a sense of intrigue by suggesting the character is on a mission, but we don't know what that might be. The chorus, as mentioned before in the earlier example, is used to give us the theme of the song and the message about the experience of the subject of the song, in this case Sonny. She is feeling out of control maybe, or feeling that things around her are out of control. Again, it could be said that the chorus is the middle of the story, or forms part of a middle, as it ties the verses together and gives us the main theme of the story. Often once you have a verse and a chorus to a song, the rest of the story of a song becomes easier to write, because you have a beginning and the middle part, which should make it easier to decide how the story will end. The second verse, we learn that there are particular people that Sonny has a problem with and wants to seek some sort of revenge with. The story now seems to take a darker tone, but we can't be sure how she means to do that or how serious she is. The second chorus is almost exactly the same as the first, re-emphasising Sonny's sense of confusion as to her own thoughts, and now we enter the bridge of the song, which in terms of lyrics could be said to be just another verse. Bridges usually introduce a change in the musical pattern of a song, and that's why they are named differently to a verse. So in the bridge we reach a turning point, as in the first example. Is Sonny about to get her revenge by lighting a match and burning something down? As we go into the end of the song, the last chorus, outro, we start with the familiar lines of the chorus, but then hear of the sky burning down. So is this what the match was for? Is the fire symbolic of what Sonny needs? We also learn, though, that she is all right. So the story is resolved or ended with a sense of calm or return to normal. Once again, as in the first example, the very last lines of the song remind us of how the story began. Okay, so this is the last part of the video. So here I'm going to try and demonstrate how songs with similar themes can be joined together in terms of their lyrics, because we can break them down into the blocks of beginning, middle and end, and take parts of those blocks from each song and join them together. Well, that's the idea anyway, I hope. Here I've chosen two well-known songs from the past, one by the Beatles and one by Nina Simone. So in the centre there you will see the titles and lyrics to the songs, green being the Beatles, orange Nina Simone. And links to these songs will appear near the end of the video. So both songs are reflecting on things getting better and describing the sensation of feeling free and positive. The first verse, taken from the first song, describes how the subject of the song feels frustrated by the rules and regulations of school and making them be someone they didn't want to be. But then as we head into the chorus, there is a change of outlook by the subject and they are feeling more positive. The second half of the chorus from the second song continues to describe how this is a change for the subject, a new beginning, and they are feeling good about it. So, the second verse from the second song uses examples or analogies, and you can look that word up if you don't know what it means, because it's an important word in songwriting, I think, to describe how free they feel. So they're using examples or analogies to describe how free they feel. These ones are from nature. This is a trick or method often used in songwriting to describe an emotion or something else using examples that we can all relate to. This verse and the corresponding lines in the chorus hint that this is a new feeling or way of thinking, as with the first song. The word new is used. So, let me know what you think. Do these words seem to fit together to make sense? So that's it for this second video on composition and songwriting. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense to you, and I hope it will be of some use to you. If you have any queries or questions about any parts of the video, some of it doesn't make sense to you, please put them in the comment section below this video and I'll try and get back to you. Also, could you please subscribe to this channel, the Photo Tapes YouTube channel, so then when we put a new video online, you will get an email notification to let you know. Okay, so until the next video, take care everyone, and see you soon.